Stay, fair Helena, hear my excuse. My love, my life, my soul, fair Helena.
Oh, excellent. Sweet, do not scorn her so.
So we're going to be doing the mud scene. And this sort of has to do with the theme of love and how Gabe said it's very sporadic. In this scene, Demetrius and Lysander have been sprayed with the juices from the flower that Puck got. And now they're both in love with Helena and not Hermia anymore, which is a crazy sight because Helena's been the one who's been traveling to find love, and these two have been searching for Hermia, and now it's flipped the entire script on what we know in the story so far.
But also, it's almost as if it's not real love. Like, yes, they love her, but it's not of their choosing, it's not of their will, it's because of the flower.
Yeah, I think that's kind of Shakespeare's whole point of the scene, is because Shakespeare is using magic in this sense. He's really just using it to show that love is so sporadic, and that just like a snap of a finger, someone's truest feelings, what they think is fate, what they think is predestined, can immediately be swapped to be the complete opposite of what they once thought, showing Shakespeare's kind of reoccurring idea and theme for love, that it's not as special, it's not as predetermined as everyone seems to think.
I think his view of love, you have to start to look at plays individually before you look at the grand perspective. Because as you progress throughout his career as a writer, and as you look at different plays, each play sends a different message about it. Right. So you all have studied in class. You've studied Midsummer. You've studied Romeo and Juliet and Othello and Much Ado. Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
And Twelfth Night.
And Twelfth Night. Yeah. So each of those plays has a distinctly different message about what love is. Right. Midsummer seems to send the message of love is fickle and folly, and all will work out in the end. But know that we are subject to it, right? Romeo and Juliet is be careful what you do, right? If you move too fast, it could get out of control. Love and hate, right, which seem to be opposing forces, can unravel a community, right? Othello looks at jealousy and how it impacts love, right? So does Much Ado, but Much Ado does it in a much more tongue-in-cheek way, right? And then Twelfth Night is all about manipulation, right? But in a completely different way from Midsummer, right? So it's tough for me to say, overall, Shakespeare feels one way or the other. Right, I think about an easier way to tackle it is to say, in this play, what is he saying about love, right? And in this play, I think he is saying that love is good for us, right? It's important to find that person that you feel connected to, and be careful with it, right? Don't go to the extremes. Because then your energy and your passion will be used against you.
And I think that because it's magic in a sense, that the effects that Demetrius and Lysander are both feeling makes them one single entity in the way that they're acting.
Right.
They're acting the same way towards Helena and towards Hermia. They're fighting for her. So they're not individuals at this moment, other than the fact that they're two different people. They have the same mindset as each other while fighting for Helena.
Right.
And it's almost as if the fight of it almost turns childish even at a point. Like if you go to page 101, at the top of it, they're bickering with each other saying, who loves her more? So it's almost if you take it back to when we're in middle school and we're fighting over a girl.
Right, yeah.
It's just so crazy how love can be, and no matter how old you are or who you are, you always can come back to the sense of love is just something so crazy that it turns you into someone else, someone childish.
Right. Yeah, that immature factor, it kind of shows that we've seen it in other plays too, how love just makes people act completely ridiculous. And that's another good point about the whole middle school thing, is that despite the fact that they are adults and they're looking at prospects of marriage and living their life, this simple little thing can just reduce them to children and just acting completely immature.
Something I think that's interesting is that Hermia talks to Lysander about how he's just suddenly turned to being so rude and why he's changed. And then Lysander responds with,
Out, Tawny Tartar, out. Oh, loathed medicine, oh, hated potion hence.
Do you not jest?
So I think it's interesting how going from loving her to all of a sudden finding her like a demon, like a witch, like a villain. He doesn't go to, oh, he's not interested in her at all, but she doesn't matter to him. He goes to the point where she is the devil to him, and anyone who's not Helena isn't important to him and must not even be portrayed as being a good human being, which I think is very interesting within the potion that Puck used on them.
Okay, so we kind of established that with all these things, Shakespeare is kind of pushing the idea that their love is very immature, it's very not special, it's not fate. So how can we translate that idea into our acting and our portrayal of the scene to show that that is Shakespeare for you? That it's not a real romance, it's something silly, it's something childlike.
Well, we talked about the immaturity, and I think if we plan on doing this in the snow,
right.
So we can get a little more. I think we can get a little more like physical.
Mm-hmm.
One, like snow is safe to act in, but I think if we're playing it more immature, then if we're doing it in a safe setting, instead of throwing mud at each other, we can use physicality, such as like not hitting each other,
Right,
but,
yeah.
but
to show
wrestling each
No,
other.
it's kind
Yeah.
of like, when you're on the playground in like middle school, your kids just love to wrestle and jump around
Exactly,
the snow.
yeah.
That's why you have snow pants. That's why you have
Yeah.
all things. It's all you do when you're a kid is
We basically showed the extremes of love.
How far would you be willing to go for love?
Pretty far.
How far is pretty far?
Like, I don't know,
Like 90%?
like 92%.
92%. How far are you willing to go for love?
Not too. I don't know yet. Maybe far, maybe not at all. Maybe I'd just be like, that's a bummer. Or as I said, maybe I'd kill him. Because I have not been in love.
One day, my friend.
One day.
Maybe with me.
Maybe it would be you. Maybe. Maybe.
How far would you be willing to go for love?
Not too far. Maybe like a mile or like something like that. I don't know.
So like just like one lap. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, down the hallway.
Down the hallway. He's not gonna chase you very far. You gotta put in the effort.
Not too far. I get tired easily.
How far would you be willing to go for love?
Not that far.
What do you mean by not that far?
Like, there's a very fine line that's very close to me,
Can you show me the line?
Like that one. Like that close.
This line. Guys, right here. This is the line of love. Are you getting this? That is the line of love. And I am crossing it all over the place. Okay.
To another world.
Wow, he'll go to space. That's pretty far.
Take a bullet.
He would take... Bang. That's him.
Pretty damn far.
Pretty damn far.
Same level as they'd go for me, I guess.
That's a smart answer. Wow.
Far enough? I don't know.
Far enough. Bam.
Demetrius, I will keep my word with thee.
I would I had your bond, but I perceive a far weaker bond holds you. I'll not trust your word.
What? Should I hit her, strike her, kill her dead? Although I hate her, I will not harm her so.
So what we need to think about is where we're going to do this scene. We've all been talking, and we mutually agree that we think Sleepy Hollow is the perfect place to do this, as the scene, the mud fight, takes place in the forest.
right. And there's also lots of open space within the forest for us to film, and it's close by to Drew's house when we need to. We're going to be very cold,
Right.
so we can run back there. So that seems like a good spot, and it'll be really easy because it's a big open forest for us to get all sorts of shots and angles. So I mean, yeah.
And also, we can like make sure that we pad the snow around so like
Right.
everything will be safe.
Yeah.
So we did plan on using the snow as so we could be a little more physical when we filmed our scene, but climate change is a thing.
There's no snow!
And it's not supposed to snow for the next month.
So
Quick moment of silence for the deletion of the capability of snow. Is that whistling?
I hear the
That's
whistling.
nice.
Yeah. It's very
Alright,
impressive.
Anyways, so yeah, you can.
Yeah, so now instead, we're still gonna do it outside in the same location, but we're just gonna full on tackle each other.
But yeah, so pretty much the only thing that's changed is we're going to do it on solid ground, and we'll just grow a pair and deal with it.
Yeah.
Right, and an important thing that we need to think about is, this will tie into costumes as well, is are we doing this piece in a modern day setting or in the traditional setting? I personally think that this kind of a scene, since it's Shakespeare, is just talking about love, that idea is kind of universal and doesn't need to be locked in a certain time period. So we can kind of make the time period ambiguous that way, which works well with Sleepy Hollow because it's just a forest. There's no signs or anything, so you could be at any time period.
We were thinking of doing it a little more modern, so me and Gabe are playing the males, and then Brandon and Drew will be playing the females, and we were thinking of doing like a button down, maybe like just normal khakis that you'll be able to wash, something that like if it gets a little dirty, it won't matter.
Right.
But we were thinking of doing it more modern to show that even in this day and age, like 500 years later, love can still be exaggerated to that shape or form, like especially in movies, it goes out of control, and just to show that his message still is true today, to use those clothes.
Yeah, it absolutely is still true today, and that's why these plays have survived this long, and that's why you all are studying them, right? The messages are timeless and they are universal and they are relevant, whether you're looking at his comedies or his tragedies or his histories, right? There's always a message that is resonating with us today.
So in this scene, both Lysander and Demetrius are madly in love over Helena because of the potion that Puck put into their eyes. And Helena is just so confused why all of a sudden they're both into her, and Hermia is very angry. She is also very confused, but she's also mostly furious at Helena, and she's screaming at her. And Helena goes,
Hermia, do not be so bitter with me. I evermore did love you. Hermia, did ever keep your counsels, never wronged you? Save that in love unto Demetrius. I told him of yourself unto this wood. He followed you, for love I followed him. But he hath chid me hence and threatened me, to strike me, to spur me, nay, to kill me too. Now let me be quiet and go to Athens, where I shall bear my follies and back, and where I shall follow you no further. And let me go, and you'll see how simple and how fond I am.
Well, I think it makes sense too, because for her to now have these two guys be in love with her who neither of them loved her before, I think it's very interesting because both of them say such lovey-dovey things that she probably takes it as a joke. I know you're playing Demetrius, and he just says some just oddball, crazy
that
sappy
has
stuff.
to be part of the reason why she's so overwhelmed. If you look on page 93, Demetrius says, "O Helen, goddess, nymph, perfect, divine, to what, my love, shall I compare thine eyne?" He's talking so romantically and so poetically out of nowhere that anyone's
that's why
reaction
she's so
would be,
confused, because she's never heard that
It doesn't
before.
even sound like a confession that would make sense if he was honest with her and just okay, I've been meaning to tell you this. He just comes full out and goes crazy.
Yeah, that's why
with
she
everything.
thinks it's probably a joke.
I wouldn't take that seriously if someone did that to me. I wouldn't take it seriously if anyone said anything like that to me, but
Why get you gone? Who is it that hinders you?
A foolish heart that I leave here behind.
What, with Lysander?
With Demetrius.
Be not afraid.
She shall not harm thee, Helena.
No, sir, she shall not, though you do play her part.
When she is angry, she is keen and shrewd. She is a vixen when she went to school, and though she be but little, she is fierce.
Little again? Nothing but low and little. Why will you suffer her to flaunt me thus? Let me come at her.
Get gone, you dwarf. You minerous of hindering not grass made. You bead, you acorn.
You are too officious, and her behalf which scorns your services, let her alone speak not of Helena. Take not her part, for if thou dost intend never show so little love of her, thou shalt abide it.
So he's saying that to Lysander when the two of them are bickering back and forth.
Okay.
So what he's really saying there is his message is, don't try to jump on this ship now. Don't try to act like you've always loved Helena, and most importantly, Helena has always been in love with me, not you. I deserve her love, not you. Don't try to pretend that she suddenly has some interest in you. She's pined over me all this time, and now I want her. Stay out of this.
So he's giving logical reasoning of why he deserves
Right, yeah. So underneath all of this childish bickering, I think that's just an important thing to keep in mind in all of our delivery of these lines, is that even though they are bickering childishly, as we've said, they really do, at least from their perspective, passionately believe what they're saying.
What can you do me greater harm than hate? Hate me? Wherefore? Oh me, what news, sweet love? Am I not Hermia? Are you not Lysander? I'm as fair now as I was before, erewhile. Since night you loved me, since night you left me. Why then you left me? O gods forbid, in earnest shall I say.
Aye, by my life, and did never desire to see you more. Therefore be out of hope, of question, of doubt. Be certain, 'tis nothing truer, 'tis no jest that I hate thee and do love Helena. Now she hold me not. Now follow if thou darest, to try whose right, of thine or mine, is most in Helena.
Follow? Nay, I'll go with you, cheek by jowl!
You mistress, all this coil is because of you. Nay, go not back.
I will not trust you. I no longer stay in your cursed company. Your hands are quicker to change for a fray, though my legs are longer to run away.
I'm amazed, not know what to say.